Netflix just dropped huge news for Bridgerton fans, and nobody saw this coming. For the first time ever, 2 seasons of this show are going to release back-to-back in consecutive years. If you have been waiting years between seasons like the rest of us, this is the update you have been praying for. Stick around because I am about to break down everything Netflix just confirmed about Bridgerton Season 5. Let's start with the big news itself. Netflix made this announcement during its Upfronts presentation, which is basically a big event where the company tells advertisers and the public what is coming next on the platform. During this event, Netflix's chief content officer, a woman named Benedict Bridgerton, stood up and confirmed that Bridgerton will return next year with Season 5. That single sentence sent fans into a frenzy online within minutes. Now here is why this matters so much. Since Bridgerton first came out in December 2020, the show has followed a pretty strict pattern. Fans normally wait about 2 years between each new season. Season 1 came in December 2020. Season 2 arrived in March 2022. Season 3 dropped in May 2024. And Season 4 finally landed in early 2026. That is a consistent 2-year wait every single time. And it has honestly been one of the biggest complaints fans have had about this show. People love Bridgerton, but the long gaps between seasons have tested everyone's patience for years. This time is different. Season 5 is set to arrive in 2027, which means for the very first time in the show's history, 2 seasons will premiere in back-to-back calendar years. That is a huge shift from what fans are used to. And it shows that Netflix is clearly listening to the complaints about long waits. So how is this even possible? It comes down to timing behind the scenes. Netflix started filming Season 5 in March 2026. And get this, that was just weeks after the second part of Season 4 had already finished airing. In the past, there used to be a much bigger gap between when one season wrapped filming and when the next one started. This time, the team moved incredibly fast. According to the showrunner, the writer's room had already finished most of the scripts before Season 4 even ended, which means they were building Season 5 while Season 4 was still airing to the public. That kind of planning is exactly why Netflix can promise a faster turnaround this time. It is also worth mentioning that this was not some random leak or rumor floating around social media. This came straight from Netflix itself, announced on stage in front of advertisers and press. So when we say the release date is confirmed, we mean the year is officially locked in by the company that makes the show, not by some fan account guessing based on old patterns. Asterisk, the spotlight this time is on Francesca Bridgerton, played by Hannah Dodd. If you remember Season 4, Francesca was the quiet, reserved sister who fell in love with a man named John Sterling, only for him to pass away suddenly near the end of the season. That heartbreaking moment left fans devastated, but it also set up everything that is about to happen in Season 5. Alongside Francesca, the other lead is Michaela Sterling, played by Ali Baduza. Michaela is actually John's cousin, and she is stepping into a role that was originally written as a man in the books the show is based on. Netflix flipped the character into a woman for the show, which opens the door to a same-sex love story between Francesca and Michaela. This is a first for Bridgerton, since every previous season has focused on a romance between a man and a woman. Fans have been asking for more diverse love stories for years, and this casting choice shows Netflix is finally ready to deliver that. Both actresses have already spoken about how excited they are to bring this story to life. Hannah Dodd shared that after spending so much time playing Francesca, she genuinely wants to see her character find happiness again. She said she is looking forward to Francesca finally feeling like she deserves love after everything she went through. Ali Baduza echoed that excitement, saying she feels grateful and thrilled to be given such a big storyline instead of just a small side role. This season is based on Francesca's book from the original novel series, called When He Was Wicked. In the books, Francesca's love story unfolds mostly through letters and slow, quiet moments rather than big dramatic scenes, which fits her personality as the most introverted Bridgerton sibling. But since the show already introduced Michaela as a woman back in season 4, the writers clearly changed the story on purpose to build toward this exact romance. It also matters that Lady Danbury, played by Joe Ando, is expected to return for this season, giving longtime fans a familiar face to hold on to while the show explores this brand new kind of love story. With 2 strong actresses leading the charge and a storyline that breaks new ground for the series, Season 5 already feels like one of the most important chapters Bridgerton has ever attempted. The story picks up 2 years after the ending of Season 4, when John Sterling passed away and left both Francesca and Michaela grieving in very different ways. For Francesca, John was her husband, and losing him meant losing the future she thought she was going to have. For Michaela, John was her cousin and one of the closest people in her life. So this loss hit her just as hard, even though the world around her expected her to move on quietly. Now, 2 years later, Francesca makes a decision that surprises everyone around her. She decides to re-enter the marriage mart, which is basically the social season where wealthy families try to match their children with suitable partners. But she is not doing this because she is ready to fall in love again. She is doing it for practical reasons. In her world, being an unmarried widow comes with real challenges. And Francesca seems to be choosing stability over waiting around for another grand romance. At the same time, Michaela returns to London, and this is where the story really starts to shift. She comes back to take care of the Kilmartin estate, which was John's family property. So on paper, her return is about handling business and family duties. But being back in the same city as Francesca stirs up feelings neither of them expected. The show has already hinted that Francesca is not simply comforted by Michaela's presence the way she was during her marriage to John. Something deeper starts forming between them, and it puts Francesca in a difficult position. This creates the central conflict of the season. Francesca has to choose between 2 paths. One path is the safe, practical life she planned for herself when she decided to return to the marriage mart. The other path is following whatever this new connection with Michaela actually means, even if it means stepping outside everything she thought her life was supposed to look like. For a character who has always been the quiet, careful one in the Bridgerton family, this kind of choice is a huge turning point. What makes this story stand out from earlier seasons is the pacing. Unlike the big dramatic ballroom sparks fans saw with couples like Anthony and Kate, or Colin and Penelope, Francesca's story is expected to be slower and more emotional, built on small moments rather than instant chemistry. That matches her personality perfectly, and it gives Season 5 a very different feel compared to the seasons before it, while still keeping the heart that makes Bridgerton so easy to fall in love with. Filming for Season 5 officially began in March 2026. And what makes this timeline so impressive is how quickly it happened. Production started just weeks after the second half of Season 4 finished airing to the public. In the past, there was usually a much longer break between one season ending and the next one starting to film. This time, the cast and crew barely had time to catch their breath before jumping straight into the next chapter. The showrunner, Jess Brownell, actually explained that the writing team was already deep into scripts for Season 5 while Season 4 was still airing. She mentioned that the writer's room had wrapped up most of the work early, which is a big reason why everything is moving so much faster this time around. Filming is taking place in the United Kingdom, keeping the production close to its usual home base where earlier seasons were also shot. The season is expected to run 8 episodes, matching the format fans are already used to. Lady Danbury is confirmed to return, and there are new characters joining the world as well, including a charming but self-doubting bachelor named Christopher Anderson and Michaela's mother, Helen Sterling, who is expected to play an important role in the story. Now here is the part that might disappoint some fans a little. While Netflix has confirmed the year, 2027, an exact release month or specific date has not been announced yet. Based on how the last few seasons were handled, there is a real chance Season 5 could be split into 2 parts again, similar to how Season 3 and Season 4 were both released. Nothing has been officially confirmed on that front, so for now, all we truly know is the year. One more exciting detail worth mentioning is that Season 6 has already been greenlit as well. Netflix confirmed both Season 5 and Season 6 together, which means even after this upcoming season wraps up, fans already know more Bridgerton content is coming after that. So while we wait for an exact date, at least we know the story is far from over. If you enjoyed this update, make sure you are following so you do not miss it the moment Netflix drops the official release date. Let me know in the comments who you are most excited to see get their own season next.